Hillsborough County Jail. Deputy Gray thinks it's time to do a shakedown of the whole facility to stop contraband.
It's imperative as far as contraband that we find everything that comes in this jail. We learn every way that they possibly can get the contraband in the jail. And if we're missing something, it's imperative that we fix it permanently. And there's no choice there.
Never far from Gray's mind is the murder plot he uncovered less than 18 months ago against officers in a juvenile pod.
This is 2 Delta, the actual pod where the juvenile deputies and my partner and I discovered a murder plot that was about to take place. We noticed some changing in behavior in the pod. They were starting to what we call click up. They were grouping up. We took a couple inmates out. We separated them. So they weren't able to talk and collaborate their stories. And one at a time, we started to interview them in our housing unit office. One interview led to the next, and it was all connecting. It literally led us to the guy that was going to do the cutting of our deputy. This is room 38. This is the room which he stayed. He was pulled out of this room. He was taken to our strip search room. The murder weapon that was going to be used, which was a bunch of razor blades affixed to a handle of a toothbrush, we actually found on the inmate and found extra razor blades inside his cell. It was pretty thought out, pretty methodical, premeditated. The plot basically consisted of 3 names of 3 deputies, literally listed down the line 1, 2, and 3. And if they couldn't get to number 1, they were going to go to number 2 and so forth and so on. To see a name that, somebody that may have been a shift away from having their neck sliced in an escape attempt, that's hard-hitting stuff. That's gut-wrenching.
Once the deputy was killed, the juveniles were going to make their escape.
When I went home that night, I know we had done our job. We saved a life.
If Gray doesn't stay on top of the weapons and the inmates, somebody may die. In the lockdown unit, Chadwick Thomas's suicidal state seems to have lifted. He's out of his cell for rec, which in lockdown means a chance for a little personal grooming and a call to his family.
What's up?
Back in his cell, Thomas makes a surprising confession. He says he didn't really try to kill himself.
Nah, I wasn't ready to kill myself. I just acting. So for me being in my room, I couldn't take a shower for 4 days. They didn't give me no toothbrush, toothpaste, toilet paper, nothing. So I was like, I got tired of it. What really made me mad was like when the officer came to my door and he gave me my tray. When he left, I like, sir, I ain't get no bread on my tray. Oh, deal with it, da-da-da. Okay, that made me mad. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get from around here. I already know what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I got the sheet. Made it like a rope and I tied it to the fire extinguisher and put it around my neck. I wasn't gonna jump or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? I stood there acting like I was gonna jump.
Thomas faked a suicide attempt so he'd be moved to a new unit where he'd get better treatment.
Since I've been here so long, I know how to, you might as well say, like, manipulate to get, you know what I'm saying, where I need to be.
I'm back in the county.
Thomas is still stuck in lockdown, but he's sounding almost defiant now.
Everybody got a lot of time. We struggling back here, but we making it. You know what I'm saying? But we still strong people. We just locked up right now.
In the women's pod, Amber Tackett is about to get some startling information about her extradition to a Tennessee prison.
Hey, it's Deputy Garcia. Did I talk to you earlier about inmate Tackett, Amber Tackett? You guys had pulled a file for me in regards to some information out of her file. Okay, well, would you like to stay on the phone when I tell her this? Because this doesn't happen very often. Ms. Tackett, Tennessee refuses to come get you. You are going to be released today.
Much to everyone's surprise, inmate Tackett is going home to her family.
If I could hug you, I would. No hugging. She's crying, so you just gave her an early Christmas present, ma'am, okay? You guys can talk to her at mealtime, okay? At mealtime.
Garcia may have spared inmate Tackett weeks of uncertainty.
Yeah, Mom. Mom. You can come and get me. I don't know what time I'm gonna get out, but I get to come home. Yeah.
By Hillsborough County standards, she completed her program and she is now being released. And we would not have known that if we didn't call records today. Feels good?
Yeah.
That is what we call following through. That's what I hope that I hold a rapport with these females or any other inmate in this jail, that when we say we're going to do something, we finish it and complete it, and it usually turns out good.
For other inmates, their stay at Hillsborough may not end so well. Hillsborough County Jail. Inmate Chris Trott says he's found a new way to beat the system with some highly unusual contraband.
I'm gonna show you the best piece of contraband in the whole jail right now, all right? This is the greatest contraband ever. Nobody's got contraband like this. I'm standalone contraband on this one right here. Check this guy out. This is my buddy, and he just hangs out with me. Stand alone on this. Everyone thinks I'm crazy for having it. They're like, man, you're gonna get in trouble. Kind of reminds me of like a dinosaur. I like him. He's just hanging out.
Later, Trott even sneaks his lizard out to the rec area for some exercise.
I hope I don't get a new charge like animal cruelty or something. That'd be my luck.
What his name?
Rasta.
Rasta.
You see any big ants anywhere, man?
A pet lizard may be harmless, but Trott's flagrant rule breaking may be his ticket right into solitary confinement and an even longer prison sentence. Thursday, 6 a.m. Deputy Gray is ready for the big crackdown on contraband. A preemptive strike to keep the inmates off balance and to uncover drugs and weapons.
It's a sneak attack. It's unscheduled, just to kind of show the inmates that, you know, this could happen at any point, and we'll do a systematic run through of each pod, each housing unit, looking for contraband.
Give everybody a chance to react.
Colonel Privatera, head of Hillsborough, briefs his officers before the shakedown.
Before we moved them from the south end to the north end, we were seeing a lot of homemade weapons. So if you find any contraband, the detention security guys will be here, Gray will be here. If you find something, they'll come and get it. Let's try to handle it as little as possible.
We're getting ready to do a mass shakedown. 10, 12 canines we're going to use today, along with probably 60, 70 personnel.
Surprise is the key, and an overwhelming show of force. Members of the tax squad make their way into one of the lockdown pods, where some of the most difficult and dangerous inmates are kept, including accused cop killer Dante Morris. They will bring each inmate out separately as his cell is searched. Chadwick Thomas watches the shakedown unfold from his cell. Across the way, one inmate uses the shakedown to vent his anger.
This is bullshit, okay? I didn't ask to be over here. I don't want to be in protective custody.
Hey, lower your voice, man.
I don't what? What are you going to do? Put me in the hole? I'm already in the hole.
Now it's Thomas's turn. Deputies search Thomas's cell. It's clean. The officers burst into one of the direct supervision men's pods. The inmates are moved into the rec yard. Among them, Chris Trott. A a second-tier cell turns out to be filled with contraband.
It's coffee. Obviously, they stole it from the trustees. Show up in the morning. They're not supposed to have any of this. It's all contraband. Okay, obviously this guy has got some issues following the rules. It's the wristband. They're not supposed to take this off. This is their ID, picture ID. They gotta have this at all times in the wrist.
You see who this is? That's Christopher Trott's identification band that we put on him that you're supposed to have on you at all times. But every so often you'll run into inmates that will literally, you know, soap and water, they weren't put on tight enough and they'll slip it on and off, but completely against facility rules.
This guy had some pad in there. It was obviously giving him water and everything, taking care of him.
It's not unusual, his history. He crosses the line, but he doesn't cross it enough to where he gets, you know, serious trouble.
Right on the edge of the line.
Yes, he likes to teeter, he likes to walk the line.
That's Christopher Trott.
With all the contraband in his cell, Trott may have crossed the line. Thursday afternoon.
Pay attention to the pipe chases and if you're searching cells underneath the sinks.
Officers have completed searching several units in the jail. When Gray's partner, Deputy Camara, discovers one small yet potentially lethal item, a razor blade.
Just found in cell 3, glued under the desk with toothpaste, which is a common hiding method if you don't move the desk or look under the desk. This can be affixed to the handle of a toothbrush and used as a slashing weapon.
They're very easy to conceal, and it only takes a little razor, you know, to cut somebody's throat or something, so they can be very dangerous. So as you can see today, we've only found one. And out of, you know, 5 or 6 pods that we looked through, that's a success.
The entire shakedown yields only the razor blade, a few pills, some homemade alcohol, and some marijuana. But that's a good thing. It tells Deputy Gray that they may be winning the fight against weapons and drugs.
Not a lot of it was found and not a lot in one place, which tells me that the deputies that are working those pods are doing an excellent job in controlling the pod.
Come down the line up, single file.
Inmate Trott didn't have any weapons or drugs, but his cell was crammed with nuisance contraband.
Due to his background and his, you know, his history, he could face up to probably, 15 days, 30 days in lockdown, depending on what they want to do with him. He's had a couple incidences here in the last couple months, all the way up to marijuana, and it might be one of those things where they see fit that he spends a little time in lockdown.
Jail is about rules, and Trott seems incapable of following them.
I lost my upstairs room, my good mattress, my good pillow. Now I got a crappy mattress, crappy pillow, crappy roommate. Life sucks.
Trott will find out soon enough if his habitual rule breaking will mean a tougher prison sentence. Despite his efforts to work the system, Chadwick Thomas is still struggling with solitary confinement, so much so that he yearns for prison.
I'm really ready to go back because I don't want to sit in confinement in the box all day. You only get to come out 3 times a week. So it's only like 3 times you get to use the phone out the week, you know what I'm saying? When you're in prison, there's a lot of other stuff you can do. I can walk around, go to the rec yard, play basketball.
Thomas wants to have his appeal hearing and head straight back to the pen. Prison is easier than jail.
Being institutionalized will make it easier, really, you know what I'm saying? You can do the same thing every day, so you get accustomed to doing the same thing. So when somebody breaks the cycle, it's like, it off-balance you feel me? Because this is not my regular cycle right here, being in the room locked up all day, not be able to like move how I want to move, you know what I'm saying? He's breaking my cycle.
Bye. Bye, Amber. Bye. Love you guys.
It's time for Amber Tackett to get processed out.
Oh, I won't. All right, Miss Amber Tackett. It was very nice to meet you, ma'am.
It was wonderfully meeting you, too.
I'm glad everything worked out the way that it did.
Me, too.
Please, please do your best, Amber.
I will.
This is your golden ticket out of here.
Thank you.
All right?
Bye.
1 Bravo to an available escort. We have a release in the vestibule. 1 Bravo.
I haven't left jail in the whole 8 months other than riding in the van to go to court. It feels good. I feel really good. Can't wait to get home and hug everybody and sit down and eat a real meal.
Sometimes it works out for the best, and it did today. It doesn't always turn out that way.
For Deputy Garcia, it's been a good day. An inmate helped, and no threats. But as the deputies at Hillsborough County Jail know, their lives are always on the line.
Our eyes can't be everywhere, and we can't be everywhere. You can have a bad day. A good day can turn into a bad day really fast.